Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an angle that we might look back on as having been the path to finding the winner. Well, a big day in Hong Kong racing this Sunday. We have the Jockey Club Cup Mile and Sprint, the dress rehearsals for the Longines Hong Kong International races in December. And certainly all the talent is on show for the local horses, with a couple of big exceptions, Golden 60 and Romantic Warrior, but everyone else is there and they'll be looking to put down a marker going into the internationals in December. Now, they're not the races I'm doing on the show, but there'll be plenty of information all over the Hong Kong Jockey Club website, interviews and form pointers, and you can get all your information there for those Group 2 races. I'm looking at a couple of the support races, however, and the first is race 4, where our winning factor is position in running. Now, this is a really terrific Class 2, plenty of talented horses here, and the likes of Packing Treadmill, Zac Burton's ride Flying Ace, the Last Start winner Lucky With You, all chances, and even plenty of respect for Beauty Charge and Bundle of Charm. This is a very good race. However, I do think the main public focus of the race is going to be on two very promising 4-year-olds down at the foot of the weights. Helios Express and Lucky Encounter making their Class 2 debuts. Now, John Size trained Helios Express was 1 for 1 in Australia. He's had 3 starts in Hong Kong, was a little bit unlucky in the first of them, but has since won the next 2. And his most recent effort came up in July in Class 3. This is race 816 from last season. He's in gate 4, purple and yellow colours. And Zac Burton is in no hurry here after the horse jumps okay. But he gets a perfect race shape to settle in midfield as a long odds-on favourite. Now, there's a good speed early, but the middle stages are even more competitive. The 2 leaders really get going and pick up the pace. And for the hot favourite, it's perfect. It's all a case of whenever Burton asks for him. And we see him at the 200 metres, he rounds up the leaders and comes clear to win with something in hand. Now, as I said, we haven't seen Helios Express since that day in July, so he has had that break. There are no fitness concerns whatsoever, however, with Lucky Encounter from the David Hayes yard. He's won 2 from 2 this season, and this is the latest. This is race 89. He's in gate 12 here, red and purple colours, and Lucky Encounter is very quickly away and then has to do a little bit of work as he presses forward. Now, the tempo is sound enough early, but you can see Lucky Encounter not really helping himself after being pushed out of the gates. He fights Karis Teton, wanting to go faster. The pace then drops mid-race as the leader takes a breather, then picks it up again at the top of the straight, but still has no answer as Lucky Encounter claims him, goes clear and holds off the late finishers under top weight. Now, that effort was probably better than it looked, and good efforts from both horses in Class 3. Now they get the big weight drop as they go up into the real territory of Class 2, where everyone can gallop. There's real opposition there. Now, off those wins, I would think probably Helios Express has a little bit more displayed talent than Lucky Encounter, but we come into one of those delicious head-to-heads here where one horse is coming off a break, another horse has had the recent racing. So where are the advantages to lie in that head-to-head? So I thought it was a good occasion to have a look at recency and how soon before a race a horse had had its previous start. So this goes back to September 2013, and I've broken these down into 1-week blocks. And you can see the strike rates don't vary a whole lot across the whole range. Although there is an edge for horses who have run very recently in the last 2 weeks. They punch above their market expectations, but then so do horses off a much longer break in the 90 to 110 days range, where we also see a spike in strike rates. Now, with Lucky Encounter coming off a 35-day break and Helios Express off 133 days, it isn't really conclusive. Neither of them falls into a particularly strong zone. And even looking at the records of their individual trainers in those situations doesn't tell us more than they at least live up to betting expectations. So, two promising horses, both down in the weights, and how do we separate them? Well, let's take a look at the map. On the speed map, this is basically a race of two halves. Three horses who could lead, plus Packing Treadmill, who likely trails them, and the rest likely sitting back. Now, I'm not convinced the front three will compete for the lead. They are all versatile, just as effective at taking a sit, so there's no reason to expect that this will be a strong speed up front. With Lucky Encounter likely ahead of his big rival, that just might be the advantage he needs. So from me, the tip in race 4 is Lucky Encounter. His winning factor, position in running. Certainly not a lot between these two horses, and when we looked at the stats as far as recent racing, not really conclusive in favour of the horse who has had the recent races, Lucky Encounter. However, I do get the feeling that he's going to be in front of his main rival. He's race fit, and I guess if he can't beat Helios Express this time, he might never beat him. The other race I want to take a look at on Sunday is race 11, and our winning factor here, the draw. Now, this is a Class 3, 1400 metres, quite a few chances in it, and I think there'll be some interest in the return of the promising 4-year-old, Simple Hedge, from his summer break. Brave Dreams returns to a track and distance where he's been successful, and there's Massive Action, Choo Chow Spirit, Tamara Blitz and Golden Samurai, who filled the first 4 placings in a similar race last month. So first of all, I'm going to take a look at the horse coming from a different form line, and that's Brave Dreams. Now, he's had 3 starts this season, drawing barrier 10 of 10, 14 of 14 and 9 of 12. So not a lot in his favour in those 3 races, but he has still run well in a couple of them, and we're going to go back to his first up run in September over Sunday's course and distance, 1400 metres, and this is race 43. He's in gate 10 with the pink colours and white sleeves and jumps well, but as is usual, he drifts back off the speed, and that is even accentuated here. As you can see, the leaders really put the foot down in the middle 800 metres. Brave Dreams ends up 6 lengths off the front mid-race. His jockey Hugh Bowman goes to the fence. He knows the leaders are going to tire late and come back to him, but in the straight there's just too much to do, and Brave Dreams runs well but has to be happy with third in a race that has since been a very strong form reference. Now, Brave Dreams hasn't had a lot of luck in his couple of runs since, also from wide gates, but he draws barrier 1 on Sunday, which might help him settle a pair closer and be more of a threat. For his main opposition, though, I think we're looking at a race from October 22, when we had 5 of Sunday's runners contesting it. 4 of them filled the first 4 placings. So we'll take a look at that race now. This is race 108. The grey Massive Action from gate 9 bounces out straight into his usual lead role. Golden Samurai jumps well in the white colours, the Golden 60 colours. From barrier 12, he has to do some work as Zach Purton puts him up outside the leader, while Tamara Blitz, gate 3 yellow and white red cap, is into the box seat, and Choo Chow Spirit, red and green, in midfield. Now, on the heat map, you see the early tempo was not slow, but Lyle Hewitson on the leader picks it up after hitting the 800 metre turn, and this is how Massive Action wins his races, forcing his rivals to increase speed mid-race just to keep up, rather than being saved for a sprint at the finish. Hewitson's ride takes the sting out of the chasers, who simply cannot get to him down the final stages. So how does the race set up differently on Sunday? Well, We can take a look at the map, and now Massive Action led from gate 9 in the video we saw. Here he has gate 2 and expect him to be straight to the lead on the fence again, but this time with the speedy Magniac for company. Now, I'm frankly a little surprised Connections have taken so long to get Magniac out to 1400 metres in Hong Kong, as he led, winning 2 out of 2 this distance in Australia, and in the short sprints here he's looked fast but one-paced. In other words, he's got a very similar style to Massive Action. Choo Chow Spirit moves out to a wider draw, and Simple Hedge, who usually misses the start, is out in 11 for his first up run, so he's likely giving up a big head start. But for me, the critical draw changes here are Brave Dreams getting gate 1 and Golden Samurai, who had 12 in the replay we saw and had to be used up early to stay with the leader. This time he comes into gate 6 with both speed horses inside him, and I think Vincent Ho will be happy to let them go and keep each other busy in front while he gives his horse a soft sit behind. So the tip in race 11 from me is Golden Samurai. His winning factor, the draw. Now, I do think Brave Dreams from the good draw is a serious rival, but Golden Samurai, he was beaten in that race we saw as a short price favourite from gate 12. I think he gets a much better run here from the inside draw, and he should be able to turn things around. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Enjoy the group racing on Sunday. All the best with your punt, and we'll see you next time.